Thank you very much for being part of the media review segment of Insight. I'm Eunice Johnson, and today our focal point will be on the media and SMEs. By SMEs, I mean small and medium-scale enterprises, particularly in Nigeria. How has the media paid attention? Has the attention been enough? These are issues we'll be looking into on the media review segment. My guest is OFEM, OBOMA. He is the National Coordinator, Entrepreneurship Enhancement Center, and also the publisher, the Nigerian SME Journal. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Now, basically, the Nigerian media and SMEs, you know, we've been hearing at some point that different opportunities have come up for those who want to delve into small and medium scale enterprises, and so many opportunities are there. But would you say that the media has paid enough attention to making people see these opportunities? So simply put, how much attention would you say the media has paid to SMEs?
I think it's very clear that the media has paid very large attention to SMEs, because every day, all the dailies, the radio, the press, and the print media focuses more on the SMEs. There's a lot they are put out there, but the problem we have is that Nigerians don't read, and most people don't pay attention to what the media is publishing. In fact, it will surprise you that as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, you're supposed to pay attention to what the papers are talking about, the sector that you belong. But most of the time, you discover that all this literature that is available in the media it does not have attraction to most SMEs. However, so many of them actually pay attention to it, and they make informed decisions because of what the press has put out there. So I believe that the press has done a lot, you know, to provoke the SME sector in the country.
Okay, in some sort of way, you could say that SMEs are drivers of technology somehow, because, you know, when you have a lot of people delving into businesses, they contribute somehow to the economic growth. Now, just as we had the 23rd Nigerian Economic Summit, which focused on creating opportunities for startups. And by startups, we're still talking about small and medium-scale enterprises directly or indirectly. Now, how can the SMEs be encouraged to contribute to the economic growth through the media?
Yeah, you see, the SMEs, you know, if you look at the statistics available, it is assumed that SMEs, registered SME practicing in Nigeria, over 37 million people are registered SME operators
in Nigeria,
and even contribute to about 47% to the GDP. And technology is the new world of doing business, and so many products are available in terms of technology. The SMEs have been able to do a lot. Right now, we are looking at SMEs that are involved in the IT sector. We are looking at locally developed softwares. All the processes in the large opportunities are available in the public sector. The public sector is about 90-something% driven by manual operations. Meanwhile, we have the SME. There are tools, SME tools and IT tools that can manage the public sector. So there's a lot of opportunities available for SMEs to focus on the operations of business processes of the public sector. That is only the public sector. The private sector is there, and several other sectors that could provoke the activities in the SME. As I speak to you, there are so many SME operators that are now developing locally produced softwares that does not require foreign exchange to be able to use them. So if Nigerian businesses and also the public sector goes to patronizes these IT SME operators, I mean innovators, you discover that we are going to have a kind of economy that is going to be driven by local technology. So we believe that the ICT sector, which is completely under-patronized, if it is well patronized locally, so many products will come out of that sector. Okay. We have issues of document management, we have issues of process management, we have issues of archiving. When you get to several organizations, you see the stack of files, which are ordinarily supposed to have been converted into electronic files. making it easier for access and retrieval.
Okay, but you just mentioned a lot of areas in the IT sector, which so many people might not be akin to.
Right.
Would you blame that on the media for not doing enough publicity in that area?
No, you see, the media, you see, we move with trends. The media has actually published a lot. If you watch much of your programs, if Ismail pays attention to your IT programs, you discover that there's enough publicity that is being given. But it's just the patronage aspect that is not there. The media is doing so much to bring about awareness of the existence of this thing. But you see, as an SME operator, for instance, you are incapacitated. You don't have the resources to be able to go. And if government fails to patronize you, you remain where you are. But I think there's enough awareness in the media that SMEs will benefit from.
Okay, you are a publisher
Yeah.
for SME inclined, or rather, I would put it, you're the publisher, even the Nigerian SME Journal. So it's not just about SME inclined issues now, like you basically are a publisher for the SME Journal. What is the experience like?
No, you see, like I've told you before, you know, when we bring out this journal, the Nigerian SME Journal, is given out for free.
Oh, so what's in it for you?
It's actually a publication of the NGO, the Nigerian Entrepreneurship Enhancement Center. It uses it to educate. It uses it to bring awareness of products that are available both in the government environment and the private sector. And we have discovered that even at that, as you give it out for free, a lot of people just pick it and keep it. The content of the journal is supposed to provoke your reasoning to begin to do business in a different way from what you have been doing before.
Okay.
So we want to drive a new dimension of doing business and also to bring awareness to the SME operators. But you see, a lot of people that read and call, they'll be thinking that, okay, for instance, if CBN is probably, in the CBN is trying to bring out the SME Development Fund. A lot of people feel that they just have to go and queue up there in the central bank and then begin to pick up checks. But the CBN does that through a vehicle, and the vehicle they do that with is the commercial banks and the microfinance institutions. So you must have a formal relationship with these institutions to be able to access those schemes. So, but a lot of people feel that, oh, central bank has not, they say they gave money and nobody is seeing the money. Meanwhile, there are so many SME operators who do not have formal relationship with the banks. And that was why I thought that CBN also came up with the financial inclusion to make sure that they bring people inside the financial environment to have access to banking. This banking gives SME opportunity to access schemes that the government is bringing out. So this has been a problem. We are trying to use the journal to create this awareness, to bring people to understand that there are opportunities, but you need to be inside the opportunities to take benefits.
To partake.
Yes.
But just as you mentioned that you're trying to use this journal to create awareness, you could barely say that there are other media houses that are dedicated to SMEs, just like you are, focusing on publishing for SMEs. You do not necessarily have, it could just be in one column or just a passing, feature or something. Now, why do you think that there isn't so much, you're trying to create awareness, but why do you think there isn't so much like attention as it should be, that different media houses will keep hammering it? It's just like last year's economic summit that dwelt on Made in Nigeria. It was almost sinking into everybody's ears that Made in Nigeria is the way to go. So you should patronize, Made in Nigeria product. But this time around, this summit has to do with startups, but people barely even know that they have such opportunities. What do you think the media could do to right the wrongs? Yes,
I think you see there's this act, the Venture Capital Act. It has been promulgated quite a long time, but this act is not well publicized, and it has made even government to develop cool fits about act, even the National Assembly, trying to look at that act, to look at the components of that act that seems to be outdated, and begin to use it to provoke a venture capital. Here, so many, actually, I would say that there are so many columns in the papers that are writing about SMEs. Almost every newspaper out there has a column where that takes care of SMEs. The media houses or the television houses also have their own programs that promote SMEs. But there are other things that we need to do beyond all these publications that has to do with the enabling legislature, and also deliberate attempt to be able to create SME clusters. In Nigeria, there are no SME clusters around. They are supposed to, you have been talking about industrial parks and all that, you know. We need to have these industrial parks functional, provide basic infrastructure, electricity, water, telecommunication, and what have you, banks, and even the development centers for the SMEs. They need to be within the cluster. So people can build capacities, people can practice, and also ultimately create a market within that environment. Enabling. So all these are things that we need to do. And we need to begin to talk as the media, begin to hammer the government to make sure that they make these things available. It is not about talking on the pages of papers or at any other forum.
Okay, considering that this is your area of, this is something you specialized in, would you say that there are some other new things happening in the SME industry, or maybe other creative things that are happening that the media might not necessarily be talking about as it should?
Yes, recently I came across a product, and that product is called Unleash Your Creativity. That Unleash Your Creativity is a film capacity building project that is meant to develop film making within the youths. So, and they are focusing on some topical issues that they want to do. I discovered that we are not really focusing on that product. That product is first to develop youths, enable them build capacities, and also enable them launch themselves into SMEs, operators. Because at the end of it, what I saw about that product was that at the end, it will mean the objective is to create new players in the movie industry.
But this is something I know a lot of people would jump at, but because they are not aware of it, then yeah. So how do you intend to create?
I think the social media is also helping to build up that awareness.
Speaking of social media, how can the SMEs take advantage of the social media? You know, you could barely, sometimes, in some cases, affordability of the traditional media, talking TV, radio, might not be that, you know, but the social media, how can they take advantage of it?
The social media actually is a very big platform, because I think all of us now have handsets and all that, you know, so everybody is very conversant with how it operates. I think we too, the practice in the social media is too much of other things that do not add value. But when we now begin to talk about using social media as item of value, you now discover that every product should have a space in the social media. And it could be by tagging each other or by texting each other, you discover that we are building up a very big platform and the market for the products. So I believe that SMEs have opportunities using the social media, not for things that do not add value, but using it to promote your idea. I know very well that, okay, for instance, there's a product that has been going on in social media. It has to do with building capacities for young entrepreneurs. You know, across the West Africa, we have both Anglophone and the Francophone. So if you are doing business across the West Africa, it is also imperative for you to be able to communicate in those two languages, that is French and English. And so what we are looking at is how to be able to develop capacities for young people now to do their business by interacting with the 2 languages in the business world.
Which would go a long
Which
way.
will go a long way to adding value, yes.
Yeah, so much to talk about, but that's the much we could take on this segment of the program. Thank you very much for coming. It's been interesting speaking with you. My guest has been OFEM OBOMA. He is the National Coordinator, Entrepreneurship Enhancement Center, and also the publisher, the Nigerian SME Journal. And we've been talking about the media and SMEs. That's it for the Media Review segment. Thanks for your company.